Greetings, dear friends. Happy Monday. I trust you had a wonderful weekend and are ready for this amazing week ahead. I trust you had a good experience with the new moon. There was a new moon in the sign of Cancer. That was on Friday. And so, new moons is a time for us to be checking in. This is the whole vibe of this mindset mastery. So, at new moon, you're checking in and setting intentions and also really being introspective. And so, over the weekend, did you take some time for yourself to just really have that sacred self-care, to have that time to check in with what lights you up, what fills your cup? Now that we're stepping into this week, we are affected by the first quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra. I always love when the sign, when there's the sort of impulse or the directive for this mindset mastery to find balance. So that's where, as we set intentions at the new moon, and then on the first quarter phase of the moon, that's when we start to take action, start to steer forward. So with this week, we are going to be really tapped into how does this make me feel about me vibe. If you've watched these sessions before, you know that's one of my favorite questions to ask. And I also really encourage you, particularly with these times, this sense of equilibrium, of harmony, of communicating from your heart. That's the times we are in. And also, as we do that, we actually can impact and reverberate inner peace. But of course, all of that starts with us doing our internal work first. So, as you know, with these sessions, I call these mindful motivation for mindset mastery. That's the whole thread of them. So, whatever resonates for you as far as checking in, tapping in, listening to the guidance of your inner wisdom. You see, the guidance of your inner wisdom is always there. However, most of us were not conditioned to create that pause, that little introspective rhythm that suits you. So, as always, when I do these sessions, if anything that I share here confuses you or triggers you or makes you feel like, oh gosh, I need some more support or guidance, put it in the comments below or message me directly, because the vibe of all of this is to really help you access the powerful wisdom that's there for you and then follow it. Follow it so that you can navigate and find that sense of equilibrium, of harmony, of balance, of ease. And the more of us that do this, the more it ripples out into the collective. And the more we do that, then it's kind of like that really feels like it's in alignment with what the purpose of this game of life is. It is supposed to be a game, by the way. And so, are you following what you feel is best and right for you? And as I'm saying that, it's an evolution. I see this as a spiral upwards. So the patterns and the beliefs and the intentions and the ideas that maybe were correct for you or working really well for you, last year, 5 years ago, aren't really suiting who you have become or where you're headed towards. So there's no right or wrong here. It's about being willing to just check in. Check in. How do I feel about myself here? And what I mean by how do I feel about myself here is, making these choices, being in this space, doing these things, heading towards that goal or saying no to this. How do I feel about myself? Because we want to be finding that space of yes, that space of I'm on track. I am finding my gifts. I am sharing my 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 talents, what my callings are. And then also, when we ask ourselves that question, it can sometimes guide us to say, "Oh, this time is over. This this chapter is served its purpose, and now I'm letting it go in order to evolve, to step into more bigger. I say bigger. It doesn't have to be bigger, but it could be who you're becoming." So take a nice deep breath. For these sessions, I use 4 different decks of cards to kind of really help go in deeper into the ideas. I always start riffing about the phases of the moon because that's the really big piece around mindset mastery. But the first card we draw is from my letting go guidance system. Because you see, if you think about that idea that I was saying about the spiral upwards, as we spiral and keep going upwards and keep, learning our what resonates with us and letting go of what's not working anymore or what is over, then there's always, that's how we can start. What can we let go of? So as we are embraced by this first quarter phase of the moon, and it's not happening until the end of the week. It's the 13th, I believe, that it's happening. And so this is a great time to just be setting the stage, feeling into this energy. So let's see, what can we focus on letting go of, and it is depending on others for your happiness. So that's an interesting one to come up, because I was just saying about the doing the inner in order to see the outer. So this is, if you want to see happiness outside of yourself, if you want to have people, creating that harmony, that equilibrium, that space of yes, it's got to start internally first. So are there places where you might be thinking, oh, I feel happy if they speak like this, or if the politics are doing that, or if this is happening, I'll feel happy? That's not going to serve you well. Actually, it's funny because this is in alignment with the quote on my calendar today. I have a gratitude calendar, and the quote is by Rachel Macy Stafford. She said, "The most meaningful life experiences don't happen in the when, they happen in the now." And so, depending on others for our happiness is in the when. I'll be happy when. No, it's in the now. It's a decision that you make. It's a choice that you make in the now. So let me know how that goes. Like I said, if you need any more inspiration or support on any of these ideas, just let me know. But now I'm going to pull one tarot card, and then we'll get 3 of the Healing with the Angels cards. Excellent. It's the Queen of Swords. Love that energy. So the Queen of Swords is actually really encouraging you to have clarity on your thinking space. Swords are about thinking and what's chattering in your mind. But the Queen of Swords is really tapping into that feminine energy. Regardless of our gender, we all have masculine and feminine within us. Now, thinking and being, rational and logical and that type of energy is generally considered masculine. Whereas the queen energy, the feminine, is really having that equilibrium, having that energy of balance. How do I feel about myself when I'm thinking these thoughts, when I'm using these words, when I'm deciding that's the intention or that's the direction? And allowing your pace to be slow enough that you actually access that wisdom. That wisdom is there, but sometimes we just need to say, okay, wait, I just need to press pause and take a few deep breaths and allow it to bubble to the surface, if that makes sense. So it's about really, like I said, finding your rhythm, your pace. We're not conditioned, or we're not wired to keep hustling and pushing and forcing. So maybe there's pieces around this that's kind of encouraging you or suggesting or inspiring a different rate or a different rhythm. So as I was riffing on those ideas, oh, this is cool. These great cards that came up to support all of this. The first one is blessings. So sometimes when we really allow ourselves to tap into that wisdom, we can actually realize how prosperous we are, how abundant, how tapped into our own inner wisdom, and all that is there to support us and guide us. The next one is meditation. Do you have a regular meditation process or practice? And when I say that, if you have a little bit of a resistance to sitting in meditation, what do you do where you lose all concept of time? And this is such an important piece to allow yourself to feel into the guidance, because the last one is study. Could you allow yourself to step into the role of being the observed and the observer at the same time? And that's going to help you find that sweet spot of that equilibrium, of that balance, of that tapping into your intuitive nature and allowing the flow of life to be coming through you. I trust that makes sense. That's kind of what this is feeling like. So, take a nice deep breath. Before I wrap this session up and send you off into this beautiful week ahead, I'm going to finish off our session with one of my Liberate Your Inner Truth cards. This is because really that's what this whole vibe of Mindset Mastery is, to access, to get tapped into, to unearth what is your inner truth. And the more we do that, again, the more each one of us does that on an individual level, the more it ripples out. It kind of gives other people permission to do the same. So, that's that saying that comes to mind, is be the change you wish to see in the world. Who was it that said that? Oh, I can't remember right now. Taking a nice deep breath, let's just see what comes up. Perfect. The card that's come up for us is I am creative. So let me read this out to you. I rely upon my imagination and express myself creatively. The ideas that come into my awareness lead me to an abundant, fulfilling, and successful life. I love that. That feels like a beautiful support to that first quarter phase of the moon in the sign of Libra. I wish you a beautiful week ahead. I'll be back again with you next week. And like I said, if you need any support or guidance, pop it in the comments below or message me directly. Much love to you, and thanks for watching.